Welcome you all to Wellness Week Marin, where we will practice the integration of the 8 dimensions of wellness into our daily lives. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website. The webinar is also being presented in English as well as simultaneous Spanish translation. We want to thank you in advance, Marta Baton, who is our interpreter today. Hola y bienvenido a Semana del Bienestar al Marin. Este webinar se está grabando y presentando en inglés y se traduce simultáneamente al español. Gracias a Marta Bitton, que es nuestra intérprete esta tarde. Okay. For all the wellness events this week, I want to make sure that you do track your progress using our tracking sheet. And I'll put that in the chat. Complete the Google form to enter to win a prize by this Friday at 1 o'clock. And also this Friday at 3 o'clock, join us for a celebration where we'll be announcing the winners. Just want to thank our sponsor, Kaiser Permanente, and partners Marin Health and Human Services and Redwood Credit Union for making Wellness Week Marin possible. Today you will have joined session 11 of 15 of the total sessions offered during Wellness Week. Danielle Schiano, Health Promotion Member of Kaiser Permanente, is with us today to guide us through aligning our time and space with what matters most. Take it away, Danny.
Thanks, Laura. And we're going ahead and getting started, even though it's not 12 yet, right?
We're going to do that again at 12.
Okay.
That was a great dress rehearsal. Yes, no, we're not going to get started. Thank you for that. I was like, we're going to start at 11:45. That is hysterical. How'd I do?
You did awesome.
Excellent. So if I don't do well the second time, then we have that. We can just patch that.
Yeah,
later.
we can. You can just cut my little blurb out.
That is
so
hysterical.
funny.
Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just go ahead and mute. And if you would unshare your screen, I'm going to go ahead and do the rotator on our screen. And did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
Hey, yay.
Schiano, yeah. And there was a typo on the website, but instead of member, it's manager.
Oh, okay. Let me change that.
I mean, I am a member.
You are a member, but you're a manager.
So it's not technically a typo. But,
important distinction.
Yeah.
Manager.
But I do work here too.
And probably receive care there.
All of the above. All right, so I'm going to stop my share.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rotation. Marta, could you hear me? Oh, she may not be able to hear me. I was wondering how my Spanish was. Let me see. I want to share. Hold on. Get this one up. This one down. And share screen.
So when I hit share screen, I just pick the power.
All right. Danny, are you seeing the website?
I am.
Great. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself.
You should mute yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I want to welcome you all to Wellness Week Marin. I'm Laura Trahan. I work for Marin County Office of Education. We will be practicing the integration of the 8 dimensions of wellness into our daily lives. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on our website. The webinar is also being presented in English with simultaneous Spanish translation. Thank you in advance, Marta Baton, who is our interpreter today. Hola y bienvenido a Semana del Bienestar a Marin. Este webinar se está grabando y presentando en inglés y se traduce simultáneamente al español. Gracias a Marta Baton, que es nuestra interpreter esta tarde. For all the wellness events this week, be sure to track your progress using the tracking sheet placed in the in the chat, and also complete the Google form to enter to win a prize by this Friday at 1 o'clock. And also on this Friday at 3 o'clock, join us for a celebration where we'll be announcing the winners. Just want to thank our sponsors, Kaiser Permanente, and partners Marin Health and Human Services and Redwood Credit Union for making Wellness Week possible. Today you will have joined session 11 of 15 total sessions offered during Wellness Week Marin. Danielle Schiano, Health Promotion Manager, Kaiser Permanente, is with us today to guide us through aligning our time and space with what matters most. Take it away, Danny.
Thanks so much, Laura. Hi, everyone. My name is Danny Schiano. I'm so proud to represent my fantastic team here at Kaiser Permanente San Rafael, and really just grateful to be a part of this effort to promote overall well-being. We've all been through a lot in the past couple of years, and it's so important that we always say to our employees here at Kaiser Permanente, put your own oxygen mask on first so that you can best take care of everybody else, right? So congratulations for tuning in today and putting your own oxygen mask on first. That's the most important step. And just to remember that the things that we do to take care of ourselves are not selfish, but it's the way that we can best take care of everybody else. So as Laura mentioned today, we're focusing on occupational and environmental well-being. So occupational wellness dimension involves participating in activities that provide meaning and purpose, that reflect your personal values, your interests, your beliefs. And then environmental well-being, meaning not just being safe and feeling safe and having access to clean air and food and preserving those things, but also for the purposes today, I want to focus on sort of the spaces that we occupy and the environments. Are they stimulating? Do they support our well-being? Do they promote learning? Things like that. So before we get started, I want to just take a minute to talk about our values and do a little bit of a personal value inventory. So it's important to note that our values change over time, right? So we might all have some values that were instilled in us when we were very young that we still hold near and dear to our hearts, that are very important to us. And then other values are sort of seasonal with our lives, right? So things that were very important to us when we were in our teens or 20s might look pretty different than when we're in our 40s or 50s. So things shift, we shift, we're constantly changing. And one thing we do know is that values can change as a result of major life events. And we have all been through a very major life event in the past couple of years. The impact of the COVID-19 pandemic has been significant on everyone. If you think about it, we've all dealt with not just personal health issues, but thinking about the health of our coworkers, of our patients, of the people we love, social issues, financial stressors. None of us have escaped these things. Some hit harder than others. It changed the way we worked. It's changed the way we learned. It's just changed the way we went through our day-to-day, the ways we shopped. A lot of people experienced some increased isolation. You know, the flip side of that I've actually heard from several people that they've been able to glean kind of some silver linings, that they've enjoyed having more time at home with their families. Or I don't know if you guys remember in the beginning of the pandemic when everybody was baking bread. So maybe they learned a new hobby or got to spend time on something that they haven't before. But the point being that we just wanted to take some time to slow down and maybe assess the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic had on our values and be honest with ourselves about how maybe that's changed for us. So I'm going to show you a screen. Don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot of words. Half of them are in Spanish, half in English. So I'm hoping to make Marta's life a little bit easier with the translation. What I want everyone to do, this is a list, 3 columns of values. And I just want you to grab a pen and paper or grab your phone. If you don't have a pen and paper nearby, I bet most of us have a smartphone nearby, and open it up to the notes section, or even go like you're going to write a text to somebody. And I want you to look through this list of values. And you might think all of these things are important, but there's probably a few that really stand out to you, that are values that you really believe in, that feel crucial to who you are as a person and how you identify. So I want you to take a minute just to look through the list. Don't overthink it. Just the 3 to 5 that really pop out to you. Go ahead and write them down. If you're feeling stuck on identifying anything, you can ask yourself, is this consistent with who I am? Does it support my inner self, who I want to be? Am I proud of this value? Would I defend it? Oftentimes people talk about defending their values. So we'll just take a few more minutes. And then I want you to put that aside. Just put those values aside. Don't delete them. Don't get rid of them, because we're going to pull them back. And I want to shift and just think for a minute. I'm going to go back to that environmental and occupational well-being piece about how and where we're spending our time, right? So think for a minute about, how do you spend your time? If you work, where do you work? What do you do for work? In your free time, what do you choose to do with your free time? Do you like to read? Do you like to watch Netflix shows? With your family, are you spending that time with your family? Who are you spending time with? Your coworkers, your friends, your furry babies. And do they support your well-being? I know my furry babies certainly support mine. Or not. Maybe you have some folks that don't, and there's no right or wrong answers here. There's no right or wrong. It just is what it is. And then I want you to shift into that environmental piece and think about where you spend your time. So for me, during the week, it's going to be primarily at work and at home, right? Some people I know some folks who have a very long commute, and they might spend 2 hours a day in their car. So their car is a place that they're spending a lot of time. We live in this amazing county with beautiful trails. Maybe you get to take advantage of that and be out in nature. But think about those places. Maybe pick 1 or 2 places where you spend a lot of time. And think about what those places do for you. Are they stimulating? Are they calm? Are they chaotic? Are they stressful? Are they fun? Perhaps they're nurturing to you or inspiring. Now I want you to pull your values back out. So you've got about 3 to 5 values written down. Pull those back out and ask yourself, do those values that you wrote down align with how and where you're spending your time? Are you able to live those values out with who you're spending your time with, where you're spending your time? the way that you want to feel, the things that are important to you now, today, not the things that used to be important to you. Likely, most of us are going to have some yes answers and some no answers to that. Because again, we've all been through something really significant over the past couple of years. So what if your values no longer align with how and where you're spending your time or who you're spending your time with? What I would encourage you to do is consider choosing one small thing, one small shift you can make. A couple of days ago, the Redwood Credit Union folks were talking, and they talked about a SMART goal. And I loved hearing them say that. And a SMART goal means it's small, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's realistic, it's timely. So pick one small thing. For me, when I looked at that list, the word relationships really stuck out for me. That's something that's always been very, very important to me. Not having a lot of relationships, but having a few really deep friendships. And I can say that that is no longer aligned with how and where I'm spending my time. I am not giving the time to my friendships that I would like to be, as a result of a lot of things, but one of those being the COVID pandemic. So I'm going to choose one small thing that I can do. I'm going to schedule once a week some way to connect with a friend. If it's a busy week, maybe it's a 10-minute phone call. Maybe it's a text just telling them that I'm thinking about them and I miss them and I hope to spend more time with them next year. If I have the time, maybe I invite them to go on a hike that Saturday or go for coffee. For me, it's going to be really important to put that on my calendar. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to go on autopilot. I think a lot of us do, where we just we have all these ideas of things that we want to do for our well-being, and then our days come and go and we get busy, and then the week comes and goes and we didn't have the opportunity to get those things done. So for me, putting that on my calendar is going to be key. You know how to make this work for you. I want to just caution you also, if you're anything like me, not to get carried away with this. The first thing I thought when I thought about this was, oh, I should do this at work too. I should go to lunch once a week with somebody who I want to, get to know better at work, or I should be spending more time with. Don't do that. Just do the one small thing. And then if you're able to successfully incorporate that into your life and you notice your values and the way that you're spending your time, who you're spending it with, are aligning a little bit more, then you can add something else on. But be careful with yourself, because this is a lot. And we're talking about kind of all these different dimensions of well-being this week, right? I love this idea that well-being is no longer just kind of diet and an exercise, but we recognize that it takes all these different parts. This particular image and a lot of the well-being model images are in circles. And I think that's great. It's like a tire, right? So if a wheel or a tire gets punctured by a nail and goes flat in one area, it's not just that one area that goes flat, it's the whole wheel. So the importance of this week and really spending time on talking about all of these different things is really key, and just picking small steps in the different areas that really feel achievable to you. So be gentle with yourself. You've already done something today by tuning in, whether you're listening to this live or you're watching the recording. You've already done something really, really good for your well-being. You've put your own oxygen mask on first by taking this time. Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you so much, Danny. It was wonderful to have you here. I personally really appreciate the opportunity to have that personal value inventory, and really taking a step back and recognizing that perhaps across time it might have adjusted a little bit. And so those hallmarks in the road are wonderful. And I just want to thank you so much for being with us and being part of this week. And for those of you that are in our audience, I want to remind you to track your daily participation in a variety of wellness activities throughout the week. Be sure to complete that Google form by Friday the 10th. And just thank you all for being here today and taking this opportunity to be here for yourself and putting that oxygen mask on for yourself first and foremost to make sure that your world is taken care of. And our next session will begin at 3 o'clock today, where Michael Pritchard will be speaking to you on the power of storytelling. So we thank you very, very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. See you at 3 o'clock.